What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday. That means another episode of Legacy Wednesday. And today we are going to go over Mew, Prime, Vileplume, Dusknoir, Vanilluxe, Victini, Relicanth. So, 6 Pokemon in this deck, and we're going to see what's it about. Can this deck do well or not in Legacy format? Now, this deck does have some auto losses, but hopefully we don't play against those, but we'll see what it's about and let's see what's going to happen. Now, main attacker is actually going to be Mew Prime. It has the Pokebody Lost Link. Mew can use the attacks of all the Pokemon in the Lost Zone, both yours and your opponent's, but you still need the necessary energy to use each attack. So this is kind of like the Mew theme that we've always had. Mew EX can copy any Pokemon on the bench. The new Mew can copy any of your bench basic Pokemon, which is really nice as well. And this early Mew Prime does the same thing, but in the Lost Zone. And the way we're going to put Pokemon in the Lost Zone is through See-Off. See-Off says, search your deck for one Pokemon and put it in the Lost Zone, shuffle your deck afterwards. Now, the only bad side about this deck is, when this card was originally made, you could attack on the first turn, so you can see off turn 1, but now you can't see off to turn number 2, and your Mew might get knocked out by them, which is very unfortunate. I think in Legacy mode, they need to make some kind of format where you can attack on the first turn, or something, for a little bit more balance. Like for Cleffa and Tyrogues and stuff like that, like, they need some way to balance this out. But still, really good. We're going to see I'll put Vanilluxe in the Lost Zone. If Vanilluxe has the attack Double Freeze, flip 2 coins, this attack does 40 damage times the number of heads. If either of them is heads, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. So if you flip 1 head, the defending Pokemon is paralyzed, which is really, really nice. And that's how we're going to attack. We're going to do Double Freeze, paralyze the opponent, and win the game. Now, like I said, there's 2 auto losses with this deck. The first one is going to be Virizion Genesect. Virizion Genesect, well, mostly Virizion, has the ability Burn It Wind, which makes it where any of your Pokemon that has a grass energy attached to it cannot be affected by a special condition, which means Double Freeze can only do the damage and not paralyze them, which is very sad, and obviously you're just going to lose this match. There's nothing you can do. And second off, Keldeo. Keldeo has the ability rush in, so they can rush in, retreat to a new one, always get out of the paralyzation, which is bad. So those 2 things are pretty much auto losses, but outside of that, you can win the majority of your games, which is really, really nice. Even, like, you can beat Garbodor, because this is a Pokebody, it's not an ability, so you can get around Garbodor with this Pokebody, which is really, really nice, and that's why I love this deck so much. So we talked about Mew, how you can put Pokemon in Lost Zone with it, but we also have Relicanth as well. Relicanth has the attack Prehistoric Wisdom. Choose a card from your hand and put it into the Lost Zone. Then draw 3 cards. So this could help you set up, while also drawing cards to help you set up both ways by putting Pokemon in the Lost Zone and draw 3 cards, which is really, really nice. And that's why we play 3 of them in the deck. Mew also has free retreat. That's why we play 4 of them. You can turn 1 retreat into a Relicanth, which is really, really nice. So you might be confused. You might be saying, alright, so they're paralyzed. They can play Switch, they can play Escape Rope, Float Stone, whatever. But we play a Vileplume, Float Stone not so much, but Switch for sure. But Vileplume is how we're going to shut down decks. Vileplume has the Pokebody Allergy Flower. Each player can't play any training cards from his or her hand. Just like we have the Vileplume out now, making it where you can't play any training cards, this Vileplume does the same thing. So now your opponent can't play Switch, Escape Rope. I don't even know if Escape Rope is legal. So basically they're stuck in the active spot, which is really, really nice. And that's how we're going to win games. We're going to use Mew, we're going to use Vanilluxe to paralyze their opponent, and keep Vileplume to keep it stuck there forever. Now, we also play Victini EX as well. Like I said, you do flip 2 coins. If one of them has to be heads. But if both of them are tails, you have Victini. Victini has the ability Victory Star. Once during a turn, after you flip any coins for an attack, you may ignore all effects of those coin flips and begin flipping those coins again. You can't use more than 1 Victory Star ability each turn. So that way, if you flip double tails, you can use Victini one more time and hopefully flip at least 1 head. So you can hit 1 out of 4, so like 25% chance of it failing, basically. Still, really, really nice. The chance is, like, in your favor for sure to hit 1 heads. Alright. So one cute thing that you can do in the deck, and as you see here, we play a 1-1-1 Dusknoir line. Yeah, a 1-1-1 Dusknoir line. So if we prize any of the pieces, we are in trouble. But Dusknoir has the ability Sinister Hand. You can move around your damage counters any way you want to, and this way, you can keep the Pokemon stuck in the active spot forever while damaging bench Pokemon. So the whole theme is to use Mew to copy Vanilluxe stack to paralyze the active. If you flip double tails, use Victini to rebuff them, have Vileplume to make it where they can't play Switch or anything of the switching cards, and Dusknoir to keep the active alive forever, and that's how we're going to win games. It's a very, very hard setup, and we're probably going to go down 2 to 3 prize cards before we actually get it set up, but once we're set up, we are good to go. We're golden, and we're probably going to win the games that way. Alright, so 1 computer search for consistency, discard 2 cards from your hand, search it for card, and put it to your hand. The ball engine I'm not 100% sure on yet, but two dual ball, flip 2 coins for each head, search it for base Pokemon, and show it to your opponent, put it into your hand. 2 level ball. I might end up cutting the dual ball for 4 level ball, and the reason behind this is because everybody that's a basic Pokemon can be searched out with the level ball, but if you do flip double heads, you could get out multiple Pokemon, so it's a very, very weird situation. But everybody does have 90 HP or less, like the Relicanth, the Victini, the Oddish, the Duskull, the Mew. Even Mew has 60 HP. I thought it was 80, but it's 60. So everybody can be searched out with level balls, so we might cut those 2 for 2 more level balls. 2 Pokemon Communication. So that way you don't have to discard a Pokemon. You show a Pokemon, you choose a Pokemon, choose one Pokemon in your hand, show it to your Pokemon, or show it to your opponent to show it to your Pokemon. Here you go. This is my Pokemon. Alright, but show your opponent, put it on top of your deck. If you do, search your deck for Pokemon, and put it into your hand. Now this is great because you don't have to discard cards from your hand. We know you have the Ultra Balls, this can guarantee it as a Pokemon, but sometimes you don't want to discard cards. You want to keep as many cards as you can in your hand, and since we play 22 Pokemon, we can easily communicate somebody away and get a new one out, which is really nice. 3 Rare Candies, so that way we can get out the Vileplume or the Dusknoir. One cool thing that you could do is Rare Candy into Dusknoir, and then Rare Candy into Vileplume the same turn. It might be impossible, but hey, we can do it sometimes. 3 N, 2 Juniper, 4 Oak. Like I said earlier, I'm not sure about these supporter cards. I do think the higher count of Oak and N is the way to go. You also don't want to discard too many cards, so that's why we're playing 2 Juniper instead of 3 or 4, because you want to keep a bunch of cards in your hand, and you don't want to discard these crucial resources, but sometimes you can get away with it, which is why we do play the 2 Juniper. The 4 Oak and 4 N is just really nice, especially N, because you're going to go down on prize cards. You might even go down 4 prize cards, you get them down to 2, and you'll eventually catch up in the game. We also play 2 Twins as well, which is really, really nice. I'm thinking about playing 3, maybe more than that, maybe 4. 4 might be a little bit crazy, but 2 for sure as of right now. But you can only play this down when you're down on prize cards. And so if your opponent has 2 prize cards left, you have 4, you can use Twins, which you can search deck for any 2 cards and put them into your hand, which is really, really nice. That can help you get the Rare Candy Vileplume off turn 2, maybe search for energies, whatever you want, Twins can help you out. We also play 2 Tropical Beach. Once during a turn, you may draw to have 7 cards in your hand, and your turn ends. This is going to help you set up, especially turn number 1. Like I said earlier, you can't attack turn 1. So you can use Tropical Beach to draw cards, 7 cards in your hand, which is really nice as well. Alright, so 2 Float Stone. This is to, like, basically get Pokemon out of the active spot, because once you get Vileplume down, your opponent can't play catcher, so they have really no way to bring a Pokemon off the bench. Lysander doesn't exist, unless they're playing Genesect and they can red signal it up, but if you're playing against Genesect, they probably play Virizion, so you're losing regardless, unless it's Plasma. Then things get weird, but then they still play Prism Energies, and it still gets weird. Well, if they, no, that doesn't make any sense, and I don't know. Basically, if you're playing against Genesect, you're probably going to lose regardless, but there's no way they can bring up Pokemon off the bench if you have Vileplume out, which is really, really nice, and I do like that card a lot. I guess there is a Ninetales, there's a Ninetales that when you evolve, you can bring Pokemon off the bench, which might be unfortunate, but it might happen in some random case, in some rare cases. But Float Stone is mainly get a Pokemon out of the active and retreat to a Mew or a Relicanth, which is really nice. Most of the time, you're going to let a Relicanth get knocked out turn 2 or 3 while you're setting up Mews on your bench, which is really nice. So let's go over the energy count. We'll play 4 Water Energy because, of course, Vanilluxe needs a Water in the colors. 4 Prism Energy, which can count as any energy when attached to a basic Pokemon. So this is another Water Energy requirement. And 2 Rescue Energy. I might end up cutting this, but the only card we can really cut it for is a Blend Energy, which I guess seems okay. Rescue Energy is just cute if you prize multiple Mews. Rescue Energy says it provides a color synergy, but if this card's statue is knocked out by damage from an attack, put that Pokemon back into your hand, discard all cards attached to that Pokemon. So that way, if you prize multiple Mews, you can rescue energy, put the Mew back into your hand instead of discarding it, but still, it's a very risky kind of card. Like I said, I might cut it for 2 more blends, so that way we can fulfill the water requirement. That's the main thing, is trying to fulfill this water requirement on this Vanilluxe to make sure that we A-okay. But there you go, that is my version of the Mew, Vanilluxe, Vileplume, Dusknoir, Relicanth, Victini deck. Yes, that is a lot of Pokemon, but hey, today we're going to see if it worked. Now, you're going to see it in the video that we only played 1 game. There's a lot of server problems going on right now. PTCGO, when you log in sometimes, it boots you out. The screen freezes. I've seen most people complain about this and have talked to other YouTubers as well, and they're having the same issue. So hopefully they get this fixed sometime soon. The new update is doing some kind of weird stuff, but that's okay. Still, I believe in you, Pokemon. I believe that you can fix it. But there you go, guys. There's my Mew, Vileplume, Dusknoir, Vanilluxe. It's pretty much the same thing. Once you get the lock, you're A-okay. You're going to win the game. Like, once you get the Dusknoir and Vileplume down, you just sit back and you just win because your opponent can't do anything. So hopefully you enjoy this deck, guys. It's a lot of fun. I do love Vanilluxe a lot. Since the Top Cut showed it, or Puka showed it like 3 or 4 years ago. And I think it's been 3 or 4 years ago. That's been such a long time already. Puka showed off a video of Vanilluxe, and since then I've loved the card. Like, it's such an amazing card. Double freeze. At least get 1 hit so you paralyze the active, which is really nice. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoy this deck breakdown, and let's see the game in action. Alright, you're putting against Shaginator, playing a steel, not a steel, a lightning fire, and a color deck. This is going to be a Rayquaza, as you've seen. There is a Rayquaza Queen, but there doesn't seem like there's a Keldeo in their deck. So this does give the opportunity. I mean, if they're playing Keldeo, obviously we see a water, but they would get a mulligan. My opponent's going to see, ooh, an Electrode deck. I'm not sure what we're playing against today, but we're going to find out together. Alright, so there's a Relicanth, we got a Dual Ball, which is a pretty good turn 1. Are we going first or second? I don't remember. Let's put the Relicanth, go down. Alright. Put the Victini down, which is great. Okay, alright. Okay, we have no base Pokemon, and I forgot who was going first. I already forgot. I think my opponent must be going first, because I don't remember getting the screen to be asked to go first or second. So there is a Mareep, and a Reshiram. It's about to go down. Okay, a Chair, gonna draw 3 cards. Alright, my opponent had the advantage, so an Ampharos Prime deck, Reshiram, I am not sure. We get a Dual Ball. Let's see, what do we get? Come on, double heads. Okay. Prism Energy, yeah, we'll put a Prism Energy on the active, and we'll use the Oak. Gonna shuffle our head into the deck, and gonna draw 6 new cards, and let's see. Okay, so there's a Mew coming down. We got another Relicanth, which I don't know if we want to use, but we'll use the Prehistoric Wisdom to put the Vanilluxe into the deck, or in the Lost Zone, and draw 3 new cards. 1, 2, and 3. We got an Oddish, a Communication, which was great. Alright, so we have a decent turn, number 2. There's an, oh my goodness, Enhanced Hammers. Those are, okay, those are bad. Those are cards we don't want to see. Hopefully my opponent does not play a lot of those. We might hold on to the Prism Energy, just because we know they at least play once. They might play multiples of these. We see a Skylight gonna search for some kind of item card, and or maybe a trainer card, I guess. Not so much an item card, but there's an Ultra Ball. Alright. And do they get the Ampharos Prime down? Okay, there's a Love Ball. Gonna grab somebody. There's a Flaffy, alright. A Flaffy. Okay. I can't remember what the Ampharos, I don't know his name. Flaffy coming down, Prime does, but I know there is a Prime. The question is, are they playing a Prime or not? There's a Thunder Spark. Okay, does 20 damage to a bench Pokemon. Perfect. Alright, so on to our turn. We get a Gloom, so put down the Oddish. We will Communicate, put in the, guess the Relicanth? Does it really matter? I'm not sure. We'll put the Relicanth in the deck. We'll grab, there's a Duskull. Is it oh, Dusknoir is prized! No, the 1/1 Dusknoir is gone! We have the Dusclops, okay, but we don't have the Dusknoir, which is very unfortunate. Do we grab Dusknoir? Oh, I don't know if it's worth it now. Let's grab a Mew. Okay. We'll put a Mew down. I know I said I didn't want to put down this, like, the Prism Energy down, but I'm kind of tempted to. So we'll put a Prism Energy down, put down Tropical Beach, and we will beach, drawing 4 new cards. Okay, so we get an Ultra Ball. We can get out the Vileplume next turn. But I don't know if I want to immediately because we don't have a way to retreat our, another enhanced hammer. No! No, I said they're gonna play multiple, and they do play multiple. That's very unfortunate. Okay, so they're gonna do that. Alright, we see an Ultra Ball. Gonna discard Escape Rope and a Course. And let's see what comes out. And that's not the right Ampharos. That's not the correct one. I didn't think that was going to be the right one, but whatever. That one is going to come down into play. It does have the Acceleration Bolt 30, Search Deck for 2 basic energy cards, and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Shelf your deck afterwards, and Thunder 80. I'm going to tell us it does 20 to itself. Okay. Alright. So we see another Mareep coming down. Okay. Alright, so let's see what our opponent decides to do. Wait, probably a Dusknoir, which is very unfortunate, but it'd be okay. Maybe we'll get through. There's a Lightning to go on that guy, okay, and there's an Acceleration Bolt. Going to hit us for 30, alright. And a Lightning to go on that guy. Oh, it actually gets attached to the active. That's pretty neat. Okay, so on our turn, what do we get? We get a Oak. So I'm going to put a Water Energy on this guy, and I'm actually just going to communicate Ultra Ball, discard these two. I'm just going to grab the Mew, or the, yeah, we'll just grab the Vileplume. Sure, that seems okay. It might not be the best play because we are getting a Vileplume out and we can't play different item cards, but I think we're going to be okay with this. We'll grab the Vileplume. We'll play the Professor Oak's New Theory. Gonna show up our hand in the deck and draw 6 new cards. And there's a Water Energy, so we can attack next turn. We'll put down the Duskull. And we'll Tropical Beach for like, what, 2? Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on down, Tropical Beach. Come on down, buddy. Don't freeze on me, internet or Pokemon. I've been having a lot of glitches with Pokemon, just general Pokemon stuff, like the game not loading for some reason, or I don't know what's going on. Supposedly it's like affecting everybody. But we see a Lightning go on that guy. We see an N. No, an N. We had a Water Energy in our hand. We could use Vanilluxe next turn. No. Alright, so we're going to shuffle our hand to deck, draw 6 new cards, and there is a Water Energy and a Twinge, which is very, very nice. So my opponent would probably knock us out. There's a Boufflant coming down. Don't really care about that Boufflant. There's a Thunder. Going to do 80 damage. And now time to lock that Ampharos heads. What tells? It does 20 damage itself. Okay. So let's go Mew. Alright. So on our turn, what do we get? We get a Rare Candy, which is useless. Put a Water Energy in the active. We'll use Twins. And with the Twins, we are going to grab a Dusclops. And then probably an Energy attachment for the following turn. We'll grab a, we have plenty of energies. Yeah, we'll be okay. So we'll put those 2 guys down. We'll put down Dusclops, sorry. Put down the Mew. We'll go for a, double freeze, and let's see what's going to happen. There's a Tails and a hit. So we'll say no, we'll hit it for 40. And it'll take 3 turns to knock it out. By that time, we should have another Mew ready to go. On to my opponent's turn. They cannot get rid of this Ampharos. It is stuck in the active spot, which is very, very nice for us. So this game might take a little while. There's another Mareep coming down. Okay. And as soon as we take a knock on this guy, this Flaffy is going to knock us out if they can find another Ampharos, because they can't use Ultra Ball anymore. We'll just see a Tropical Beach going to draw 7 new cards. Alright, so on our turn, what do we get? We get a Relicanth. We'll put a Water Energy on this guy. We'll use an N, and we're trying to get more energies. Alright, so let's see, do we find any more energies? And there is a Prism Energy for the next turn, so we can get another Mew ready to go, which is going to be nice. So we will once again use Double Freeze. Yeah, we can't knock it off Foster Breath. There's a Heads and a Heads. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Would you like to flip again? No. We'll take the knockout this turn. And do we find a Dusclops or not, or the Dusknoir? We only play 1, and can we find one or not? That is the big question. Let's see what happens. Going to take a prize card, and come on in. That's a Vileplume. Alright, so that's not what we want to see. Flaffy, and does my opponent find a Ampharos and a Lightning Energy? There's that. Thunderbolts, Thundershock could paralyze us. Alright, Zekrom coming down. A Juniper, going to discard the hand, drawing 7 new cards, but we can attack with this Mew for the following turn, which is great. We'll see a Voltorb coming down. And there's a Thundershock, and do they paralyze us or not? That's the big question. It tells us they do not. That's great for us. Alright, so on our turn, we'll put a Prism Energy on this guy. And we will just go for a double freeze. Yes. Tails and Heads. Alright, we'll say no. We'll do that 40 damage. Now, the only unfortunate thing is my opponent can evolve this turn to get the Ampharos down, and that will negate that paralyzation. But if the next turn, if we flip double Heads, we could knock out the active, and my opponent doesn't have any more attackers. Well, there's a Lightning Energy going to Zekrom. Alright, almost spoke too soon. And can they find an Ampharos this turn? There's a Voltorb coming down with the Magnetic draw to have 4 cards in their hand, but they already have 5, and we're just going to see a Tropical Beach. Alright, so in our turn, if we flip 1 heads, we can knock out this Flaffy. We're going to use Twins. Oh, we can't use Twins. We're already down on prize cards. We could use Juniper, have 13 cards left in our deck. I think that'll be okay. We have plenty of turns, I think. We have more Oaks and as well. I'm just trying to get more Mews ready to go. So we'll put a Rescue Energy in this guy, and we'll go for a double free... No, do we just go for the Frost Breath? Yeah, we'll just go for the Frost Breath to guaranteed the knockout. Now, can this guy knock us out? Machop can do 50, but he needs a DCE. Maybe I should retreat to this guy. We'll take a prize card. Come on, Dusknoir, and there it is. All right. Dusknoir coming out to play. So now, if we get this Dusknoir down, we can pretty much win the game because my opponent cannot pretty much retreat the Zekrom. There's a DCE, so we will see a Machop for 50. That will knock us out. All right, but no end, so we're going to be okay. As long as we flip at least 1 heads out of 4. So let's go Mew. All right, on to our turn. We're going to draw a card. There's an Oddish, so put down the Dusknoir. And do we just go for an Oak right now? Sure, we have another and we have another Oak. We're just trying to find a Water Energy. So yes, that's fine. And let's say, what do we get? Is that what we want to see? Alright, so let's go for the Double Freeze. Alright, so Double Freeze. Tails and Tails. Oh my goodness. Yes, I would love to flip again, please. Heads, alright, and heads. Alright, so we'll say, alright, that we already flipped once. Alright, so it's paralyzed, everything, we're good to go. And now you can see how the lock is going to work. Dusknoir is going to move these damage counters off the active onto the bench, and we're going to be A-okay. My opponent doesn't play Keldeo. There's no AZ. There's no Verizon in the deck, and never see the victory coming down. My opponent realizes they cannot win the game. We have the Dusknoir to move the damage counters. We have the Vileplume to shut down the abilities. We have the Vanilluxe in the Lost Zone, so that way we can copy the Double Freeze attack, and Victini to keep reflipping, and having a 1 in 4 chance of flipping Tails. I guess like 2 150s, whatever you want to say. I guess, I don't know, just 4 times do 150, which is, I don't know, 1/4. I don't know. There we go, guys. But there you go. There is the Vileplume Vanilluxe Dusknoir deck. I know we only saw 1 game with it, but like I said earlier, the game is very buggy right now, and I didn't have a lot of time to record a game. I will most likely see the deck later on in the future. But there we go. As you see, we were going to win that game. We were going to move the damage counters from the active to the bench. Keep flipping, and you're probably going to hit 1 heads out of 4. Like, it's like less than 25, like a 25% chance that you flip tails, I guess heads, whatever. But you're going to be okay. I think the odds are in your favor for sure. But there you go. There is the Mew Vanilluxe Dusknoir deck. It seems very clunky, but it does work. But you do have auto losses against Verizon Genesect and decks with Keldeo. We might have to somehow play catcher it up without Vileplume down, which is very strange. Either way, it's definitely a fun legacy deck, and I do love Mew Vanilluxe, especially since Puka introduced like Vanilluxe Vileplume a long time ago, and ever since then I've loved the deck. So having the Mew in there, it's really, really nice. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Legacy and Wednesday. I apologize that it was a short video, but like I said, PTC Joe is acting up, and I try to get a game as best as I could. So there we go. But hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great Wednesday. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, just want to give a quick shout out to our 2 sponsors, 60 Cards and Yeti Gaming. The links are down below to their websites. Make sure you go check them out. Alrighty.